Good afternoon, I'm Miranda Monahan, and you're watching MediaPlex Live at 1. Today's broadcast brings you the latest news about the worldwide impact of the coronavirus. The House of Commons is shutting down for 5 weeks in an effort to tackle the growing spread of COVID-19. The parties engaged in extensive meetings on Thursday about how to handle the situation. Today, all parties reached an agreement to adjourn until April 20th. The 2020 federal budget date will also be postponed indefinitely as a result. It was originally supposed to be tabled on March 30th. This comes after the news that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will be self-isolating for 14 days. His wife, Sophie, has tested positive for COVID-19. She began having flu-like symptoms after she returned from a speaking engagement in the UK. According to the Prime Minister's tweet, he has no symptoms of the virus. He will work from home and conduct meetings via video and teleconference. Starting Saturday, Windsor Regional Hospital and Erie Shores Healthcare will limit the number of visitors in certain wards to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The North American stock market dropped after U.S. President Donald Trump announced a travel ban between the U.S. and Europe for 30 days. In New York, the Dow Jones dropped over 2,000 and NASDAQ was down by 564.57 points. In Toronto, S&P and TSX both dropped by more than 1,000 points. In stores across Canada, the stocks of items are flying off the shelves by shoppers reacting to the possibility of self-quarantining against COVID-19. The franchises have acknowledged the increasing demand for hygienic and non-perishable items and said they will continue to stock their stores as the supplies become available. The Ontario government announced yesterday all publicly funded schools will be closed until April 5th following March break due to concerns about the coronavirus. Classes will move to e-learning. The decision impacts approximately 2 million elementary and high school students. St. Clair College is also turning to online courses to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Last night, in an emailed statement to staff, President Patty France announced that all face-to-face classes and lectures would move online from Monday, March 23rd. The University of Windsor is taking precautions to prevent COVID-19. Jay Altaf reports from their campus.
Coronavirus has impacted educational institutes across Canada. In Ontario alone, colleges and universities are planning to move classes online as a precautionary move.
Our focus right now is monitoring the situation and ensuring that if worst came to worst, then we have a plan in place in order to transition students from physical classes to online classes. And so currently, that's our focus.
The University of Windsor is also equipped with testing facilities where students can get swabbed.
The one thing that we're doing here as well is we're screening every patient that walks in the door with the standard question: where have you been? What symptoms do you have? And so far we have not had a positive screen for any of our patients or students that come through the door that need to be actually swabbed with and for the coronavirus.
So far, Windsor is virus-free. For MediaPlex News, I'm Jay Altaf.
Meanwhile, the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association, OECTA, reached a preliminary labor agreement with the provincial government. OECTA's President Liz Stewart said the organization is suspending all strike action until the agreement is voted on April 7th and 8th. Sports around the world have been greatly affected by the recent outbreak of COVID-19. The National Basketball Association was the first to suspend its season indefinitely on Wednesday night after a Utah Jazz player tested positive for the virus. Sports cancellations and postponements continued to be announced from the NHL to FIFA to NASCAR. A decision from the Olympic Committee about the 2020 Summer Olympic Games has not yet been made. Garrett Fodor had a chance to meet with a Windsor athlete training for the Olympic trials.
31-year-old Belle River native Noelle Montcalm is in the midst of training for her latest Olympics. After making her debut in 2016 at the Rio de Janeiro Olympics, the 400-meter hurdler and relayer is hoping to travel to Tokyo in July. She is not worried about the travel concerns or potentially contracting the COVID-19 virus, despite the current travel restrictions and countries being under quarantine.
As far as any travel advisories or bans, we don't have anything in place right now, and hoping it stays that way. I know some countries do, so we're just still taking the precautions, and that's the advice that we've been given as far as continuing our training goes, and the goal still remains the same, as to work on what we can control and training in preparation for the Olympic Games this summer.
Montcalm, a registered nurse, works at the University of Windsor in health services, and notes she is focusing on what she can control and just washing her hands. According to Montcalm, she doesn't believe the Olympics can be cancelled, just delayed if need be.
Yeah, I mean, our country and the university as a whole is taking necessary precautions, screening and advocacy and awareness, and so we are just kind of keeping the situation contained and trying to spread that awareness of proper hand hygiene and the steps to take in order to prevent that transmission between people.
For MediaPlex News, I'm Garrett Fedor.
Jackie Eilers was one of the American passengers on the Grand Princess cruise ship recently quarantined off San Francisco. Yesterday, passengers disembarked the ship and were sent to various military bases across the United States and Canada for an additional quarantine. We spoke to Jackie about her experience earlier today. Jackie, how does it feel to be off the ship after being quarantined for 14 days?
Well, wonderful. We weren't quite quarantined for 14 days on the ship. It was a full week that we were actually quarantined to our room. But that was not good as that part, for sure. It was, it feels great to be off the ship now. We're in a wonderful place. We're being treated really, really well by the HHS people, which is your Human Health Services, I believe. So yes, I had a wonderful sleep last night.
What precautions did you take while on board to avoid contracting the coronavirus?
There wasn't much we can do. They provided us with masks that we had to wear anytime anybody came to our door, which was mainly only people coming to bring us food. But we were not allowed to step out in the hallway or anywhere. We didn't have to wear the masks in the room or even when we were out on our balconies. So other than that, there wasn't any other thing that they had us do.
What medical attention, if any, are you now receiving at the military base in San Diego?
From what I understand, there will be somebody, one of the HHS people coming around twice a day to take our temperatures. And as long as we're feeling good and all, that's good. We're hoping to pretty soon be able to put our masks on and go outside into the fresh air.
Carnival announced on Thursday that it would suspend all of its Princess cruises until May 10th, and all cruise ships with over 500 passengers are banned from Canada. The lines of the Windsor Assembly Plant have been idle since mid-afternoon yesterday in concerns to a worker having COVID-19. The 6,000 workers employed at the plant are waiting to hear when they can return to work. Turning to weather, today there is a chance of rain with temperatures reaching 7 degrees. Tomorrow it will be mainly cloudy with temperatures dropping to 5 degrees. Temperatures will continue to dip, and Sunday will be sunny with a high of 3. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Miranda Monahan, and you've been listening to MediaPlex Live at 1.
MediaPlex News Now is a production of the St. Clair College Journalism Program.